Hello internets, my name is dewtroid and I have a Steam backlog of over 400 games. I'm going to attempt to play as many of them as I can. I'm not going to play through them, but I'm going to play probably 15 minutes initially, at least until YouTube increases my upload limit to beyond 15 minutes, but this will just be an exercise to sort of flow through and enjoy all the games that I haven't had time to play so far. Anyway, this game here is Rocket Knight. It came out a couple years ago, I believe. It's the sequel to one of my favorite Genesis games, Rocket Knight Adventures. There are also two other sequels with the name, I believe, Sparkster, for the Genesis and Super Nintendo. They came out at approximately the same time, but they're entirely different games. I believe the original Genesis game, and if I'm wrong here, don't hate, was mostly constructed by the team at Konami that eventually broke off to become Treasure, creator of such wonderful games as Gunstar Heroes and Radiant Silvergun and Ikaruga. The music in the original Genesis game, I believe, was by Michiru Yamane, who was famous for Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And this track here is a remix of the original Genesis intro level theme. This is my first time playing this game. The controls are very similar to what they were on the Genesis. So far it seems pretty good. It feels a little easy. The original Rocket Knight Adventures was quite tough, at least when I was playing it. The art style here is interesting, but I don't know, the platforming doesn't feel as precise as it would in a 2D game. I really like the way that these mechanics are very similar to the original game. In the original, you actually had to charge your jetpack, and here it seems to auto-charge and go down with that meter up in the corner. The reason I have such a Steam backlog is that I'm kind of an impulse buyer. I hear something might be good, so I just pick it up. And with such great Steam sales, I've always been able to get a vast quantity of games really cheaply. And I've been a huge gamer my entire life, so I don't want to miss out on anything. Especially since if you ever try to acquire games well after they've been available, try to find Etrian Odyssey, the first one. I mean, that game it's like $70 to buy, and that game's only a couple years old. So you kind of feel like you're missing out. And I know that digital games usually don't disappear from an online store. I mean, it has happened before, but it's not common. Anyway, another problem is that you could say something like, "Oh yeah, I have that," and they'll be like, "Oh, what's it like?" And you have to say, "I don't know, I have it, but I've never played it." And then they look at you funny, and you feel embarrassed. I hope there's a boss fight coming up. The original had many memorable boss fights. At one point you fought sort of a train. There was a fish. You had to have a particular jumping pattern to not die on, because it would suck you in. You fight someone in a giant robot suit. I mean, you're in one too. Or is it the second one? I think it's in the first one. Either way, all the bosses were awesome. And also each stage had a mini-boss, I believe. Or most of them had a mini-boss. And these are also just as creative. Oh yeah, shooter stage. These were also in the original. This game is pretty good. I wish I could have given it more time when it first came out. Boss fight time. It's a little squirrely. Yes.